Have you ever truly asked yourself what it means to be powerful, not in the fleeting, superficial sense of dominance over others, but in the profound, invisible command over your own mind, your own destiny, your own fate? Tonight, as your eyes grow heavy and the world softens into shadow, I want you to confront a question that most dare not even whisper to themselves. What if every failure you have suffered, every regret, every lingering doubt is not a punishment, not a misfortune, but a reflection of the untamed disorder within your own consciousness? What if the victories you have yet to claim are waiting not in some external circumstance, not in luck or timing, not in the hands of men or fate, but buried within the silent, immovable fortress of your mind, where desire and belief collide to shape the reality that bends before your will? Sleep, they say, is rest. But sleep is not mere surrender. It is an instrument, a vessel through which your mind can be reshaped, rewired, and rebuilt into a mechanism of relentless, unshakable power. Tonight, you are not here to drift aimlessly into unconsciousness. You are here to enter the workshop of your own mind, to summon the forces that Napoleon Hill described, the forces that transform thought into action, desire into destiny, and belief into absolute authority over the unfolding of your life. Imagine for a moment a life lived without constraint, where every decision, every action, every thought flows from a certainty so unbreakable that external circumstances no longer dictate your reality. This is not a dream conjured by wishful thinking. This is a state achievable by those who dare to master the internal landscape of their own consciousness. Defining purpose is the first key. Without it, the mind wanders, energy dissipates, and potential dissolves into mediocrity. But with definiteness of purpose, your mind becomes a precision instrument. Each thought is a soldier, each emotion a strategic ally, each decision a step along the inexorable path to achievement. As you prepare to sleep, begin to crystallize this purpose within yourself. Let it dominate your thoughts, shape your imagination, and saturate your every waking and sleeping moment. It is the furnace from which all greatness is forged. Burning desire fuels this furnace, not a passive wish, not a casual inclination, but a consuming fire that refuses compromise, refuses delay, refuses surrender. Desire is the energy that transforms the abstract into the tangible, the invisible into the manifest. As you close your eyes tonight, imagine this fire igniting within you, spreading through every neuron, every synapse, every hidden chamber of your subconscious. Let it become so potent that your very dreams are infused with its intensity, so that even as your body rests, your mind is at work, aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and intentions toward the attainment of your deepest ambitions. Faith is the invisible bridge between desire and reality. It is not a fragile hope, but a deep, unyielding certainty that your thoughts, when disciplined and directed, have the power to shape the world itself. Consider the paradox. The mind, unseen and intangible, directs forces beyond perception, bending circumstances, attracting allies, opening doors, dissolving obstacles. Faith is not granted lightly. It is cultivated deliberately through repetition, through autosuggestion, through the relentless affirmation of your capability and your purpose. Tonight, as you prepare to surrender to sleep, repeat within yourself the truths that Hill taught. You are capable, you are destined, you are unstoppable. Let these words penetrate past the superficial chatter of the conscious mind and embed themselves into the fertile soil of your subconscious, where they will germinate into unwavering action and relentless pursuit. Autosuggestion is the mechanism by which your desires, your faith, and your definiteness of purpose are impressed upon the subconscious. It is a deliberate, disciplined dialogue with the silent operator within, the part of you that determines how you respond, how you persist, how you rise in moments of trial. As your body lies still, your mind can be guided, shaped, and instructed. Speak to it, not with idle words, but with statements of conviction. I am powerful. I am disciplined. I am committed. I will not fail. These words, repeated night after night, seep into the deepest recesses of the mind, and eventually thought becomes instinct. Instinct becomes action, and action becomes destiny. But understand this: desire, purpose, faith, and autosuggestion are not sufficient alone. They must be fortified with persistence. Persistence is the iron will that does not bend under difficulty, that does not waver when fear whispers, that does not falter when others surrender. Imagine the challenges of life as tempests, each one designed to test the resolve of your mind. Without persistence, even the most brilliant plan dissolves into vapor. With it, the mind becomes a battering ram, a relentless force that overcomes obstacles, extracts lessons from failure, and converts resistance into momentum. As sleep descends tonight, imagine your persistence as a constant flame, never extinguished, quietly but powerfully shaping the unseen structures of your future triumphs. Self-discipline is the hand that guides this flame. Desire without control is chaos. Faith without regulation is illusion. Autosuggestion without restraint is ineffectual. The mind, like fire, must be contained, directed, and focused. Discipline is the architect that channels energy, the sentinel that monitors thought, the regulator that ensures that every mental effort aligns with purpose. As your consciousness drifts into the subconscious realm, feel this discipline settling over you like a mantle, quietly but absolutely commanding the order of your internal universe. Fear is the enemy, silent and insidious, invading the mind through doubt, hesitation, and distraction. Mastery of fear is not avoidance, not denial, but confrontation, recognition, and transformation. Each fear is a doorway, each anxiety a signal pointing to unresolved inner weakness. As you prepare for sleep, visualize your fears as shadows cast upon a wall. Watch them, name them, but do not submit. Let your mind illuminate these shadows, expose them to the light of understanding and resolve, and one by one, watch them diminish until they are powerless against your intention. Imagination is your instrument of creation. The mind is not merely a passive recorder, it is an active constructor of reality. Thoughts, when vividly imagined, become patterns that the subconscious mind works to realize. See yourself achieving your goals in the most vivid detail. Feel the emotions, the satisfaction, the triumph. Let these images flood your consciousness as you drift toward sleep, training your mind to recognize success as inevitable, natural, and intimately connected to your inner life. Decision is the point of origin for all action. Indecision is paralysis. Compromise is surrender. Every achievement, every manifestation of greatness is preceded by the absolute clarity of choice. As you lie in darkness tonight, recall decisions you have delayed, intentions you have wavered on. Visualize yourself taking command decisively, irreversibly, with the full weight of your being behind each choice. Let this mental rehearsal impress upon your subconscious the power of commitment, so that when morning arrives, indecision has no place within you. And yet beneath all these principles lies a force more subtle, more profound, more powerful than any conscious thought, the invisible mental forces that shape destiny. These are the currents of energy, the unseen connections, the vibrations of intention that reach beyond the visible, tangible world. Your thoughts, disciplined, purposeful, and persistent, resonate into this field, attracting opportunities, aligning circumstances, and bending events toward fulfillment. Tonight, as your body rests, let your mind become a lodestone for these forces, a conduit through which your desire, faith, and determination flow into the fabric of reality itself. Sleep is no longer passive. It is a workshop, a laboratory, a command center. Each night, as your eyelids close, you are entering a realm where the internal battle for mastery is fought and won. Your subconscious, tirelessly working, reshapes your habits, recalibrates your emotions, reinforces your beliefs, and aligns every mental process with the purpose you have defined. By morning, you will awaken not merely rested, but reprogrammed, strengthened, and prepared to act with clarity, focus, and relentless power. Tonight, you are the architect of your future self. Tonight, you wield the invisible instruments of influence, power, and destiny. You are not a victim of circumstance, nor a prisoner of habit. You are a commander of your own consciousness, a sculptor of thought, a master of mental law. And as your breath deepens, as your heartbeat slows, as your awareness drifts into the margins between waking and dreaming, know this: the forces Napoleon Hill described, the laws of success, are at your disposal. They are not distant ideals, they are tangible realities that await your engagement, your discipline, your unwavering, burning commitment. Tonight you will fall asleep not as someone who hopes for greatness, but as someone who is actively constructing it within, who is deliberately impressing upon the mind the patterns of victory, who is mastering the internal landscape so that the external world must eventually conform. Sleep is your ally, your instrument, your battleground, and your forge. And when dawn arrives, you will awaken not merely to a new day, but to a life already transformed by the invisible, unstoppable power of your mind. The power that begins in consciousness, flows through intention, and manifests as undeniable, unstoppable achievement. As your mind drifts further into the quiet darkness, let us examine the architecture of power that Hill revealed, the intricate machinery of the human psyche, which, when understood, see and bend circumstances, dissolve obstacles, and transform desire into manifest achievement. The journey of success is never accidental. There are no miracles. There are only invisible forces, subtle currents of thought and emotion that respond to your control or neglect. Every individual who has achieved greatness has mastered this architecture. They have understood that the external world is but a mirror of the internal, that chaos outside reflects disorder within, that triumph begins not with action in the marketplace or the boardroom, but in the inner chambers of the mind, where thought, emotion, and purpose converge. Definiteness of purpose is the cornerstone. It is not a vague ambition, a fleeting hope, or a casual plan. It is an obsession so consuming, so all-encompassing, that it dictates your thought, shapes your emotion, and structures your daily existence. A man or woman without a clear purpose is like a ship without a rudder, tossed upon the waves of circumstance, at the mercy of the winds of indecision. But when purpose is defined, the mind becomes an instrument of precision. Every thought, every action, every fleeting impulse aligns, consciously or unconsciously, with that central directive. Tonight, as your body succumbs to sleep, see yourself crystallizing this purpose in absolute clarity. Let it be a flame that consumes distraction, dissolves doubt, and illuminates the path through the fog of uncertainty. And yet, purpose alone is inert without burning desire. Desire is not mere wishful thinking. It is an emotional furnace that fuels every thought and action. Desire is the force that transforms intention into motion, that converts imagination into reality. It is relentless, insistent, unyielding. Imagine it as a current of energy surging through every synapse, every nerve, every hidden recess of the subconscious. Even as your body rests, this desire pulses and hums, directing your mind to opportunities, insights, and solutions that others miss because they lack the intensity of longing, the absolute refusal to accept mediocrity. Faith must accompany desire. Faith is not an abstract concept. It is the unwavering conviction that your mind, when disciplined and focused, has the power to create results, to shape events, to attract circumstance. Faith is the lens through which reality is perceived as malleable, as pliable, as responsive to the orchestrated command of thought. As you move deeper into sleep, allow this faith to penetrate every corner of your consciousness. Affirm to yourself, I am capable, I am deserving, I am powerful beyond the comprehension of ordinary thought. Let the repetition of these truths become so ingrained that they form the foundation upon which all your decisions and actions will inevitably rest. Autosuggestion is the bridge between conscious intent and subconscious action. Words repeated with belief penetrate the deeper mind, bypassing doubt and hesitation, embedding patterns that shape behavior and expectation. Speak to yourself tonight not with idle phrases, but with statements of absolute authority over your own destiny. I will achieve. I will persist. I will not fail. These are not mere affirmations, they are commands. The subconscious does not negotiate, it obeys. It does not reason, it acts. The careful, disciplined application of autosuggestion allows you to impress upon yourself the habits, the attitudes, and the unshakable certainty that will ultimately define your success. Persistence is the relentless companion of desire and faith. Without it, even the clearest purpose, the most burning desire, the deepest faith, will falter in the face of resistance. Obstacles are inevitable, not accidental. They are the tests, the crucibles, the forces that determine whether a mind is prepared to dominate circumstance or be dominated by it. Picture persistence as an invisible engine, quietly, continuously driving you forward, unperturbed by setbacks, unshaken by temporary defeat. Each difficulty encountered is fuel for this engine, each setback a lesson in endurance, each failure an opportunity to refine your strategy and deepen your resolve. As you sleep tonight, visualize yourself as unbreakable, unstoppable, your persistence as absolute as gravity itself, inexorably moving you toward fulfillment. Self-discipline is the master key that channels this engine of persistence. Desire unbridled is chaos, faith unregulated is illusion, autosuggestion unchecked is ineffectual. D. Discipline imposes order, ensuring that every thought, every habit, every action aligns with your purpose. It is the quiet, invisible hand that maintains the structure of your internal world, controlling impulses, directing energy, and enforcing consistency. As your body relaxes into the rhythmic embrace of sleep, feel this discipline settling over you, guiding your mental activity, structuring your thoughts, and commanding your emotional responses. In this state, your subconscious mind absorbs patterns of order and control, patterns that will shape your behavior, decisions, and results in the waking world. Fear, the silent predator of ambition, lurks in every mind. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of inadequacy, fear of change. These are not external threats, but internal conditions. Mastery over fear is not avoidance, it is confrontation, recognition, and transmutation. Visualize each fear as a shadow within your consciousness. Observe it, name it, understand it, but do not submit. Let your mind illuminate these shadows with clarity, insight, and resolve. One by one, watch them dissolve until they are powerless against your will. Sleep becomes your rehearsal hall for courage, your sanctuary for bravery, your training ground for fearless action. Imagination is the architect of your destiny. The mind constructs reality from the materials of thought, belief, and emotion. Imagination, when disciplined and aligned with purpose, becomes a laboratory for success. Visualize your goals, not as distant fantasies, but as immediate realities already unfolding. Feel the sensation of achievement, the emotion of victory, the satisfaction of mastery. Let these mental images saturate your subconscious, training your mind to recognize success as inevitable, natural, and intimately linked to your internal state. The subconscious cannot distinguish vivid imagination from reality. It acts on what it perceives as fact. Use this truth deliberately. Construct, rehearse, and embody your desired outcomes even as sleep envelops you. Decision is the pivot upon which action turns. Indecision is paralysis. Compromise is surrender. Every major accomplishment, every decisive victory is preceded by an unwavering commitment to a single clear choice. Reflect on the choices you have deferred, the intentions left unexecuted, the hesitation that has allowed opportunity to pass. As your mind descends into sleep, rehearse decisiveness. See yourself acting with clarity, irreversibility, and total alignment with your purpose. Impress upon your subconscious that hesitation is foreign, that delay is unacceptable, that action is your default state. By morning, indecision will find no foothold within you. Clarity and authority over your choices will be your natural condition. And underlying all these principles are the invisible mental forces that govern destiny. These forces are subtle, pervasive, and inexorably responsive to the patterns of thought you maintain. They are the sea currents that attract opportunity, align circumstance, and manifest outcomes. Your mind, disciplined, focused, and imbued with purpose, desire, and faith, resonates within this field, drawing into your life the people, the events, and the conditions necessary for your success. Tonight, as your consciousness drifts into the deep, unseen layers of the mind, allow yourself to become attuned to these forces, a conduit through which your intention flows into the unseen architecture of reality itself. Sleep is the instrument through which mastery is achieved. Each night, as your body relaxes, your subconscious is at work, reprogramming habits, restructuring thought patterns, reinforcing beliefs, aligning emotions, and preparing you for action that will be precise, deliberate, and unstoppable. You are not surrendering control by sleeping. You are expanding it, directing it into layers of the mind that are inaccessible to conscious effort alone. Every dream, every flicker of imagination, every silent rehearsal of intention strengthens the framework of your future achievement. Tonight you are constructing the internal machinery that will inevitably govern external results. Every law Napoleon Hill described, the clarity of purpose, the intensity of desire, the certainty of faith, the precision of autosuggestion, the relentlessness of persistence, the order of discipline, the mastery of fear, the vividness of imagination, the decisiveness of action, and the resonance with invisible for CES converges in this quiet, profound process. As you drift deeper, feel your mind as a temple, a laboratory, a command center where the patterns of success are meticulously etched, rehearsed, and solidified. When dawn arrives, it will find you changed, not in form, but in function. Your thoughts will be sharper, your purpose clearer, your resolve stronger, your actions more aligned with the inevitability of your success. The night is your crucible, sleep is your ally, the mind is your weapon. And as you continue this practice, each night becomes an accumulation of invisible victories, each dream a rehearsal for reality, each moment of rest a step toward mastery. Now, as your mind drifts further into the silent corridors of sleep, consider the hidden architecture of your own consciousness. Most men and women move through life like automatons, reacting to circumstance, swept by emotion, buffeted by doubt, unaware that the unseen mental currents within them govern every outcome they experience. Napoleon Hill taught that success is not granted externally, it is conquered internally. It is first a battlefield of the mind, where thought, desire, faith, and will collide to determine the shape of destiny long before action manifests in the physical world. Tonight you are stepping onto this battlefield, not as a passive observer, but as a commander, a strategist, a deliberate architect of the life you intend to live. Definiteness of purpose is not abstract. It is a precise mental, a ligament. Picture your life as a vast landscape, filled with potential, cluttered with distractions, littered with unresolved choices. Without purpose, you wander this terrain aimlessly, allowing circumstance to dictate direction, allowing the trivial and transient to erode time and energy. But with a clear, burning purpose, every thought is like a compass, every action a step toward a predetermined summit. Let this clarity fill your consciousness as you drift toward the subconscious. See the contours of your life and define the destination with absolute precision. Let the intensity of your desire forge it into an unshakable anchor, a magnet drawing your attention, energy, and thought toward fulfillment. Desire is the furnace that energizes purpose. It is a fire that consumes hesitation, doubt, and weakness. It does not ask politely, it demands. It will not tolerate ambivalence. Imagine it as molten energy flowing through every fiber of your being, an unstoppable current shaping neurons, rewiring circuits, embedding intentions into the very fabric of your mind. Even as sleep quiets your body, this fire burns in the background, unseen but potent, preparing your subconscious to act decisively upon the ideas and visions you impress upon it. Desire without discipline is chaos. Desire with discipline is creation. Let it fill you now, an invisible, omnipotent force directing the machinery of your consciousness. Faith is the bridge between thought and manifestation. It is a force that convinces the unseen to obey, that persuades circumstance to conform to expectation. Faith is not hope, it is certainty. It is the quiet, unyielding conviction that your thoughts, when disciplined, focused, and persistent, can shape outcomes with absolute precision. As your mind relaxes, repeat the truths that Hill embedded within his teaching. I am capable. I am destined. I am empowered to influence the world through the mastery of my own mind. Allow these truths to seep into the deepest layers of consciousness, where they bypass skepticism, override doubt, and create a framework of certainty upon which every action, every choice, every movement will later rest. Autosuggestion is the tool that implants these truths into the subconscious mind. Your thoughts are seeds, your words are irrigation. Speak to yourself in statements of command, not inquiry. I will achieve. I will persist. I will master myself. Repeat them silently as you surrender to sleep. Do not let the conscious mind question. Let the subconscious mind absorb, pattern, and act upon these imperatives, shaping your habits, your reactions, and your innate expectations. Over time, the repetition of disciplined autosuggestion builds an internal architecture of certainty and purpose that guides your waking actions with precision and inevitability. Persistence is the silent engine that carries thought into manifestation. Obstacles are not anomalies, they are constants. Every path of achievement is littered with resistance, opposition, and apparent failure. Persistence is the force that transforms temporary defeat into eventual triumph. As you sleep, imagine this persistence as an internal current, quiet but unstoppable, flowing through your neurons, embedding resilience into every fiber of your being. Each past setback, each moment of hesitation, each encounter with doubt is transformed into fuel for this engine. The subconscious mind, attuned to this process, begins to align decisions, habits, and perception with the inevitability of completion. You do not merely endure obstacles. You absorb them, learn from them, and let them propel you toward the realization of your purpose. Self-discipline is the hand that channels persistence. Desire unregulated is distraction. Faith unchecked is illusion. Autosuggestion without structure is wasted energy. Discipline imposes order, aligning every thought, feeling, and impulse with your higher directive. Feel this discipline as a mantle settling upon your shoulders as your body lies still. It directs, regulates, and governs the hidden machinery of your mind, ensuring that every subconscious reaction aligns with purpose, that every impulse is calibrated, and that every emergent habit is constructive, productive, and directed toward fulfillment. Sleep is not passivity. It is the application of discipline to the hidden realms of your consciousness. Fear is the shadow that haunts all minds. Fear of failure, fear of ridicule, fear of inadequacy, fear of change. These are the silent chains that bind the unprepared. Mastery of fear does not lie in avoidance, denial, or suppression. It lies in recognition, confrontation, and transformation. Visualize each fear as a phantom projected on a wall of your mind. Observe its shape, trace its origin, and then illuminate it with the light of understanding and resolve. Watch as it shrinks, diminishes, dissolves, until it has no power over you. Sleep is the rehearsal of courage, the arena in which fear is neutralized, and the subconscious mind internalizes the invincibility of deliberate, fearless thought. Imagination is the instrument of creation. The mind builds reality from thought, emotion, and belief. Imagination, disciplined and aligned with purpose, becomes the laboratory of success. Picture your goals vividly, as if they are already realized. Feel the triumph, the satisfaction, the certainty. Let these images saturate your subconscious, training it to act as though success is already achieved, preparing the pathways, influencing perception, and attracting opportunity. The subconscious does not distinguish between imagined and real experiences. It acts upon what it perceives with clarity and intensity. Use this power consciously as sleep draws you deeper, impressing upon your internal mind the inevitability of success. Decision is the fulcrum upon which action pivots. Indecision is paralysis. Compromise is surrender. Every significant achievement begins with an unequivocal choice. CE. Reflect on delayed intentions and postponed actions. Now, as you drift into the depths of sleep, rehearse absolute decisiveness. Visualize acting with clarity, irreversibility, and total alignment with your purpose. Imprint upon the subconscious the expectation of immediate, unwavering action. By morning, hesitation will be a foreign concept, replaced by natural, instinctive decisiveness in all matters of importance. And beneath all of this lies the invisible, pervasive mental force that governs outcomes. These forces are subtle, powerful, and responsive to the patterns of thought, belief, and intention you cultivate. They are the currents that align circumstances, attract the necessary allies, and manifest results. Your disciplined mind, imbued with desire, purpose, faith, and clarity, resonates within this field. Tonight, as you surrender to sleep, attune yourself to these forces. Become a conduit for the currents of success. Let intention flow unobstructed. Let your internal architecture shape reality, and let your subconscious orchestrate conditions that will bend the external. world toward your command. Sleep is your instrument, your ally, your laboratory. Each night, the subconscious recalibrates, reshapes, and reinforces the architecture of success. Habits are refined, beliefs solidified, resilience strengthened, and focus sharpened. The mind becomes a precise instrument, tuned to the frequency of achievement, impervious to distraction, and aligned with the inexorable force of purpose. Each night compounds the invisible victories. Each dream hones your internal strategies. Each moment of rest becomes a rehearsal for the external conquest that awaits. Tonight you are not simply resting, you are constructing. You are building a fortress of discipline, a laboratory of imagination, a field of unshakable purpose. You are aligning the hidden currents of mind with the visible requirements of life. The laws Hill described, the clarity of purpose, intensity of desire, certainty of faith, power of autosuggestion, force of persistence, structure of discipline, mastery of fear, vividness of imagination, decisiveness of action, and resonance with unseen mental forces, converge now in your sleep. They become patterns, habits, instincts, and inevitabilities that will manifest when you awaken. When dawn arrives, it will not find you unchanged. Your thoughts will be sharper, your decisions clearer, your persistence stronger, your courage unshakable, and your subconscious already working in alignment with the laws that govern achievement. Sleep is not escape, it is preparation, training, and conquest. You are emerging each morning not merely rested, but pre-equipped, pre-programmed, and predetermined for success. The night is your teacher, the mind your student, and the laws of achievement your curriculum. As your mind drifts ever deeper into the quiet abyss of sleep, consider this: the mind, vast, uncharted, and infinitely potent, is your ultimate instrument of power. Every triumph, every obstacle overcome, every goal achieved originates here, within the unseen labyrinth of neurons, impulses, and thought currents that shape your perception and dictate your responses. Napoleon Hill revealed that success is not a product of circumstance, talent, or chance. It is the deliberate conquest of the inner world, the precise alignment of thought, belief, and emotion with a defined, burning purpose. Tonight, as your body succumbs to rest, you are not relinquishing control. You are engaging in the most profound act of mastery possible, the deliberate, disciplined shaping of your subconscious, the rehearsal of victory, and the internalization of the laws that govern achievement. Let us return with greater clarity to definiteness of purpose, the cornerstone of internal conquest. Purpose is not abstract. It is specific, measurable, absolute. It is the command center from which all energy, thought, and intention flows. Without it, the mind is scattered, energy dissipated, and life reduced to aimless motion. But with purpose, you possess a lens through which all distractions are filtered, a magnet drawing every thought, every action, every fleeting impulse toward fulfillment. As you drift deeper, visualize this purpose as a towering flame within your consciousness, illuminating every dark corner of uncertainty, consuming hesitation, and projecting a clear path across the landscape of possibility. Let this mental image saturate your subconscious, embedding a clarity that will direct your waking actions with precision and inevitability. Desire fuels this flame. Not casual interest, not wishful thinking, but an intense, unyielding, all-consuming hunger that refuses compromise. Desire is the furnace in which intention is transformed into action, the energy that moves thought into reality. Picture it as molten fire coursing through every fiber of your being, reaching every neuron, every hidden pathway, embedding in the subconscious a relentless insistence on achievement. As sleep quiets your body, let this fire pulse through the unseen chambers of your mind, preparing it to act with focus, intensity, and unerring precision upon the opportunities, challenges, and obstacles that will arise. Faith is the unbreakable bridge between thought and reality. It is the absolute certainty that your disciplined mind, infused with desire and aligned with purpose, possesses the power to shape circumstance and command outcomes. Faith is not blind. It is a deliberate cultivation of confidence in the laws of mental causation. As you surrender to sleep, affirm within yourself, I am capable beyond measure. I am disciplined, focused, and unrelenting. I am aligned with forces that manifest my intentions and desires. These words, repeated silently, penetrate past the conscious barriers, embedding themselves in the subconscious, where they will orchestrate your perception, decisions, and actions. Faith, when deeply internalized, see, converts thought into expectation, expectation into instinct, and instinct into inexorable achievement. Autosuggestion, the deliberate impressing of thought into the subconscious, is your vehicle for transforming intention into habitual action. As your body relaxes, speak silently to the unseen operator within, I will persist. I will act decisively. I will master myself. These are not idle phrases. They are commands, instructions to the deepest layers of mind that will govern response, habit, and reaction. Over time, repeated with unwavering belief, autosuggestion programs the subconscious to act in alignment with purpose, desire, and faith, rendering indecision, distraction, and fear powerless against the patterns of internal law you have established. Persistence is the invisible engine that converts thought into reality. Obstacles are inevitable, resistance unavoidable, yet each moment of opposition strengthens the mind trained in persistence. As you sleep, envision this force flowing through your consciousness, quiet but inexorable, aligning your decisions, habits, and instincts with your purpose. Every previous failure, every doubt, every challenge becomes fuel, reinforcing resilience and deepening determination. Persistence is not merely endurance. It is the transformative force that turns difficulty into opportunity, resistance into momentum, and delay into inevitability. Let the subconscious absorb this rhythm of relentless progress tonight, preparing you to act with precision and power upon waking. Self-discipline is the architect that channels persistence, focus, and desire into coherent action. Without it, energy dissipates, thoughts scatter, and intention falters. As your consciousness slips deeper, feel this discipline settling across your mind like a steady, invisible hand. It regulates impulses, structures thought, and enforces alignment with your purpose. Even in the depths of sleep, it is constructing internal pathways, shaping instinctive responses, refining habits, and embedding patterns that will govern your waking life. Discipline converts potential into capability, thought into action, and intention into tangible results. Fear is the silent saboteur of potential. It operates beneath consciousness, planting doubt, hesitation, and avoidance. Yet fear is not immutable. It is a challenge, a signal, a doorway to greater mastery. As you drift into sleep, confront your fears in the theater of the mind. Observe each one, understand its origin, illuminate it with clarity, and allow it to dissolve. The subconscious records this confrontation as rehearsal. Fear is recognized, confronted, and neutralized. Courage, once practiced in the hidden depths, becomes instinctive in the visible world. Your mind, trained in the shadowed recesses of night, emerges capable of fearless action, uncompromised by doubt or hesitation. Imagination is the instrument through which reality is constructed. Thought, when vividly imagined and emotionally RGD, impresses itself upon the subconscious, which then orchestrates circumstances, perception, and instinct to bring that imagined reality into existence. Visualize success as if it is already achieved. Feel the emotion, the satisfaction, the certainty of triumph. Saturate the subconscious with these images. The mind cannot distinguish imagined clarity from actual achievement. By impressing vivid, emotionally charged mental scenes, you instruct the subconscious to act as though the desired outcomes are inevitable, creating pathways that manifest externally in perfect alignment with your purpose. Decision is the fulcrum upon which all action pivots. Indecision is paralysis. Hesitation is surrender. Every major accomplishment begins with the deliberate, absolute commitment to a course of action. Reflect upon delayed intentions, unexecuted plans, and moments of doubt. Now, in the deepening quiet, rehearse decisiveness. Visualize acting with clarity, irreversibility, and alignment with your purpose. The subconscious internalizes this rehearsal, transforming decision into instinct, clarity into default action, and resolve into an unassailable condition of being. Beneath all these principles flows the invisible current of mental forces that govern destiny. These forces are subtle, pervasive, and responsive to patterns of thought, emotion, and intention. The disciplined mind resonates within this field, attracting circumstances, aligning events, and drawing into life the people, opportunities, and conditions required for achievement. Tonight, attune yourself to this current. Become a conduit through which intention flows without obstruction, where thought, belief, and purpose resonate in harmony with the invisible architecture of reality. Your internal alignment bends the external world. Your mastery of the unseen governs the tangible. Sleep is the ultimate instrument of transformation. Each night, the subconscious refines habits, consolidates learning, aligns emotion with purpose, and strengthens persistence, discipline, and focus. Rest is not surrender, it is construction, rehearsal, and consolidation. Every dream, every visualization, every rehearsal of thought and intention contributes to the architecture of success. The night is a laboratory in which the mind constructs the patterns, instincts, and tendencies that will govern the waking world. By morning, the structures of thought are ready to manifest as action, precision, and achievement. Tonight, you are not idle. You are engaged in deliberate internal conquest, shaping the unseen currents of thought, emotion, and intention. The laws of success converge in your mind: purpose, desire, faith, autosuggestion, persistence, discipline, mastery of fear, imagination, decisiveness, and resonance with invisible forces. Each layer reinforces the other. Each principle builds upon the last. Each night compounds the unseen victories that will manifest externally. The mind, disciplined and focused, is preparing for action with clarity, inevitability, and power. By the time you awaken, you will not merely begin a new day. You will rise as someone already changed internally, someone pre-equipped with the clarity, focus, persistence, and courage to act decisively, confront obstacles, and create results. Sleep is your tool. The mind is your weapon. The laws of achievement are your allies. Each night compounds mastery. Each morning reveals its manifestation. Tonight, as your consciousness sinks into the depths, allow the unseen forces of thought, discipline, desire, and faith to orchestrate the architecture of victory, silently, invisibly, unassailably. As the darkness of sleep envelopes you, allow your consciousness to penetrate even deeper into the hidden architecture of the mind, where thought, emotion, and intention intersect to produce destiny. Most men and women live in a fog, unaware of the silent forces that shape their lives, victims of circumstance, habit, and indecision. Napoleon Hill revealed that the external world is merely a reflection of internal alignment. Success, achievement, and power are not bestowed, they are conquered within. The mind is the battlefield, and tonight you are not merely a participant, you are the general, commanding the forces that will govern the unfolding of your life. Definiteness of purpose is not a suggestion, it is an internal law. Visualize it as a beacon, unwavering, piercing the fog of distraction, illuminating the path through sea. Confusion, doubt, and hesitation. Without this beacon, the mind wanders aimlessly, energy disperses, and opportunity is lost. But when purpose is defined and intensified by burning desire, the mind becomes a precision instrument. Every thought, every impulse, every fleeting emotion aligns with this directive. Feel it as a force that draws attention, focus, and action toward fulfillment. Let it saturate your subconscious, embedding itself into the very framework of your mental architecture. Desire, when true and burning, is irresistible. It is the current that moves thought into action, the energy that transforms intention into reality. Imagine it as molten fire, flowing through every fiber of your being, reaching even the deepest, most hidden recesses of your subconscious. Even as sleep relaxes your body, this fire pulses invisibly, compelling your internal systems to act in alignment with purpose. Desire without discipline is chaos. Desire with discipline is creation. Let it fuel the mental engine that will carry your intentions into existence. Faith is the invisible force that bridges thought and manifestation. It is certainty incarnate, the unwavering conviction that your disciplined mind can shape outcomes, attract opportunity, and align circumstance with intention. As you drift deeper, affirm within yourself, I am capable, I am aligned, I am unstoppable. Let these words permeate your subconscious, bypassing doubt, embedding certainty, and reinforcing the belief that the laws of achievement respond without fail to the disciplined, focused, and persistent mind. Autosuggestion is the instrument by which your conscious intentions impress themselves upon the subconscious. Words, repeated with unwavering belief, transform thought patterns, reprogram habits, and align instinct with purpose. Speak silently now. I will persist. I will act decisively. I will master myself. The subconscious does not negotiate, it obeys. Each repetition, each belief, each visualization imprints the architecture of success into the deepest layers of the mind, forming pathways that determine perception, habit, and response in the waking world. Persistence is the relentless force that converts internal intention into external reality. Obstacles are inevitable, resistance unavoidable. Yet each encounter, each moment of doubt, each setback becomes fuel for the persistent mind. Visualize this persistence as a current flowing silently yet powerfully through your consciousness. Each challenge is absorbed, transformed, and redirected to strengthen your resolve. Your subconscious, attuned to this rhythm, begins to align all actions, decisions, and habits with the inevitable fulfillment of purpose. Persistence is not endurance, it is transformation, converting resistance into momentum and failure into preparation. Self-discipline channels the forces of desire, faith, and persistence into coherent action. Without it, energy scatters, thought wavers, and intention falters. Our consciousness sinks deeper. Feel the presence of discipline like an invisible hand, steadying your mind, directing impulses, and reinforcing habits. Even in sleep, discipline strengthens internal architecture, embedding patterns that will govern behavior, decision-making, and instinct. Thought becomes action. Intention becomes inevitability. Energy becomes precision. Fear, the hidden saboteur, is neutralized through recognition, confrontation, and rehearsal. Fear of failure, fear of ridicule, fear of inadequacy, fear of the unknown. These are not external forces, but internal conditions. Confront them in the theater of the mind. Illuminate them, understand them, and dissolve them. The subconscious records this rehearsal. Fear has no power. Courage is default. By mastering fear in the depths of sleep, you emerge with instinctive bravery, unshakable resolve, and the freedom to act decisively, unconstrained by hesitation or doubt. Imagination is your laboratory of creation. The mind constructs reality from vivid, emotionally charged thought. Imagine success, not as a distant abstraction, but as an immediate reality. Feel it, live it, breathe it. Let the subconscious absorb these images, training your internal mechanisms to act as though achievement is inevitable. The mind cannot distinguish between deeply imagined clarity and external reality. It aligns instinct, perception, and action with the patterns it perceives. Tonight, saturate it with the certainty of success, the vividness of purpose, and the inevitability of fulfillment. Decision is the pivot upon which all outcomes hinge. Indecision is paralysis, hesitation is surrender. Every achievement, every manifestation of power is preceded by unwavering choice. Recall past hesitation, deferred action, and moments of indecision. As you drift further into sleep, rehearse decisiveness. Visualize acting with clarity, irreversibility, and total alignment with purpose. Imprint upon the subconscious the instinct of immediate, absolute choice. By morning, hesitation is eliminated. Clarity and resolve become natural conditions of being. Beneath all of these principles flows the subtle, invisible current of mental forces that govern destiny. These forces are responsive to the alignment of thought, belief, and emotion. The disciplined mind resonates within this field, attracting circumstances, opportunities, and allies necessary for the manifestation of intention. Tonight, attune yourself to these currents. Become a conduit for success. Let your purpose, desire, and faith flow without obstruction into the unseen architecture of reality. Your mastery of the internal governs the shape of the external. Your alignment with these forces determines the trajectory of every event in your life. Sleep is not surrender, it is preparation. Each night, the subconscious refines habits, consolidates learning, aligns emotions with purpose, and strengthens persistence, discipline, and focus. The mind becomes an instrument tuned to the frequency of achievement. Every dream, every visualization, every rehearsal embeds the patterns that govern action. Each night compounds unseen victories, shaping a mind that is capable, decisive, fearless, and unstoppable. Tonight you are engaged in deliberate internal conquest. The laws of success converge: purpose, desire, faith, autosuggestion, persistence, discipline, mastery of fear, imagination, decisiveness, and resonance with invisible forces. Each layer reinforces the other. Each principle strengthens the architecture of internal mastery. Each night compounds the invisible victories that manifest externally. Your subconscious mind is rehearsing triumph, constructing instinct, and preparing you for deliberate, effective, and unstoppable action. When you awaken, it will not be merely a new day. You will rise as someone internally transformed, pre-equipped with clarity, focus, courage, and persistence. Sleep has aligned your subconscious with purpose, desire, and faith. It has embedded discipline, neutralized fear, and instructed imagination to act as a laboratory of achievement. You are emerging pre-programmed to act decisively, to overcome obstacles, to seize opportunity, and to create results with precision, inevitability, and authority. Now, as your mind descends into the deepest layers of sleep, it is time to confront the ultimate truth. Success is not a reward granted by circumstance. It is the inevitable consequence of mastery over your own consciousness. Every thought, every belief, every emotional current, every moment of disciplined intention has been preparing you for this realization. The external world bends only to the power of an internal order. The invisible laws of thought, desire, faith, and decision are the ultimate architects of your reality. As you drift further, consider this: if your life is not yet as you desire it, it is not because of luck, nor misfortune, nor timing. It is because the internal machinery has not yet been fully commanded. The subconscious mind has not yet been trained with absolute precision. The currents of intention have not yet been aligned with relentless clarity. Tonight, that changes. Definiteness of purpose is the anchor that grounds all thought and action. Visualize it as a brilliant, unmovable beacon within the vast landscape of your consciousness, casting light into every shadowed corner of doubt, hesitation, and indecision. Purpose is not abstract, it is precise, measurable, and absolute. Let this purpose dominate your attention, saturate your subconscious, and dictate the trajectory of every thought and action. Feel it as a living force, compelling your mind, body, and spirit to move inexorably toward fulfillment. There is no compromise here. Purpose, E, is non-negotiable, unyielding, the command center from which every victory, every achievement, every manifestation of power flows. Burning desire fuels this beacon. Desire is the fire that drives action, the pulse that converts intention into tangible outcomes. Imagine it coursing through every fiber of your being, reaching deep into the hidden recesses of the subconscious, igniting neurons, creating invisible pathways that align perception, emotion, and instinct with achievement. Desire is relentless, uncompromising, and eternal. It does not ask politely. It commands, consumes, and compels. Even as sleep quiets your body, this fire burns, unseen but potent, preparing you to act with precision, intensity, and absolute authority upon waking. Faith is the bridge connecting thought and reality. It is the certainty that your disciplined mind, aligned with purpose and desire, can shape events, attract opportunity, and bend circumstance. Faith is not hope, it is unshakable conviction. As you drift deeper, affirm silently to yourself, I am capable, I am disciplined, I am unstoppable. Let this truth penetrate the subconscious, embedding certainty, dissolving doubt, and creating a framework for absolute internal authority. Faith is the internal compass, ensuring that every mental and emotional pattern directs you inevitably toward achievement. Autosuggestion, the deliberate impressing of thought upon the subconscious, is your instrument of mastery. Speak now, silently, with unerring conviction, I will persist. I will act decisively. I will master myself. These are not idle phrases. They are instructions to the deepest layers of mind, which governs habit, perception, and instinct. The subconscious obeys. It does not question. It does not negotiate. Each repetition embeds pathways, aligns responses, and establishes a condition of inevitability. Tonight, The internal programming of victory is being installed, refined, and made permanent. Persistence is the engine of manifestation. Obstacles, opposition, and resistance are constants. Every setback is fuel, every challenge is a test. Each moment of doubt is an opportunity for reinforcement. Visualize persistence as an unstoppable current flowing through your consciousness, aligning thought, habit, and action with the absolute fulfillment of your purpose. The subconscious internalizes this rhythm, preparing to act with unrelenting force. This is not endurance, it is transformation. Resistance becomes momentum, delay becomes inevitability, and failure becomes preparation for triumph. Self-discipline channels the energy of desire, faith, and persistence into coherent action. Without it, thought scatters, energy dissipates, and intention falters. As your mind sinks deeper, feel discipline settling like a mantle over your consciousness. It regulates impulses, structures thought, and ensures alignment with purpose. Even in the deepest sleep, the subconscious absorbs this order, embedding patterns that govern an instinct, reaction, and behavior. Thought becomes automatic, precise, and directed. Intention becomes action. Potential becomes mastery. Fear is the silent adversary of all who aspire to greatness. Fear of failure, fear of ridicule, fear of inadequacy, fear of the unknown. These shadows exist only where the mind is untrained, where desire is not absolute, where faith is not certain. Confront them now. Name each one. Illuminate it, dissolve it. The subconscious records the rehearsal. Fear is recognized, confronted, and neutralized. Courage becomes instinctive, decisive action becomes natural, and hesitation is impossible. Fear cannot thrive in the mind that has been disciplined, programmed, and aligned with purpose. Imagination is the instrument through which reality is constructed. Vivid, emotionally charged mental imagery impresses itself upon the subconscious, which then orchestrates circumstances, perception, and instinct to manifest the imagined outcomes. Visualize yourself achieving your most important goals. See them in exacting detail. Feel the emotion, the triumph, the satisfaction. Let these images saturate your mind, training it to act as though success is inevitable. The subconscious cannot distinguish between imagined certainty and physical reality. It prepares your internal systems to align with achievement. Decision is the fulcrum upon which all results hinge. Indecision is paralysis. Hesitation is surrender. Every great accomplishment begins with an unwavering choice. Recall deferred intentions and postponed actions. As you drift into the deepest levels of sleep, rehearse absolute decisiveness, visualize acting with clarity, irreversibility, and total alignment with purpose. Imprint upon the subconscious the expectation of immediate, unerring action. By morning, indecision will be impossible. Clarity, resolve, and authority over choice will be instinctive. And underlying all these principles is the invisible, pervasive current of mental forces that govern destiny. These currents respond to thought, belief, and intention. The disciplined mind resonates within this field, attracting opportunity, aligning events, and manifesting results. Tonight, attune yourself. Become a conduit for these forces. Let desire, faith, and purpose flow unobstructed into the unseen architecture of reality. The mind that masters the internal governs the external. Every thought, feeling, and action is a lever pulling circumstance into alignment with intention. Sleep is not escape, it is preparation. The subconscious is the laboratory, rehearsal space, and forge of achievement. Habits are refined, beliefs solidified, resilience strengthened, and instinct aligned with purpose. The mind becomes a precise instrument, tuned to the frequency of success, impervious to distraction, and capable of manifesting intention. Each night compounds invisible victories. Each dream strengthens the internal architecture. Each moment of rest prepares you for decisive acting. In the waking world, tonight, you are engaged in deliberate internal conquest. The laws converge: purpose, desire, faith, autosuggestion, persistence, discipline, mastery of fear, imagination, decisiveness, and alignment with unseen forces. Each reinforces the other. Each strengthens the architecture. Each compounds the victories that will manifest externally. Your subconscious mind rehearses triumph, constructs instinct, and aligns every fiber of being with the inevitability of achievement. When dawn comes, you will not awaken merely to a new day. You will rise transformed, pre-equipped with clarity, focus, courage, persistence, and discipline. Sleep has aligned your subconscious with purpose. It has embedded desire, neutralized fear, and instructed imagination to act as a laboratory of achievement. You are prepared to act decisively, to overcome obstacles, to seize opportunity, and to create results with precision, inevitability, and authority. Now hear this and let it sink into every corner of your mind. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are not at the mercy of luck or fate. You are the master of your consciousness, the commander of your mind, the architect of your destiny. From this moment, take full responsibility for every thought, every choice, every action. Refuse compromise. Reject hesitation. Confront fear. Discipline yourself. Commit with unyielding intensity to the realization of your purpose. The external world will bend to the internal law you now command. Victory is inevitable because you have aligned your mind, body, and spirit with the forces of success. Act decisively, persist relentlessly, master fear. Command your imagination. Make every thought a lever, every action a tool, every intention a bridge to your achievement. From this moment forward, your life belongs to your conscious command, and nothing, no obstacle, no circumstance, no hesitation can stand in your way.